Today, right in front of us, we have yet another story, one that we will not forget in Ilorin.
And I told him I was pregnant. He said, over his dead body, that I will suffer if I don't abort this pregnancy.
He started making advances on me, and then he told me, no matter how I shout, nobody is going to hear me.
The prostitutes you were carrying, were they not older than you? Some of them were younger.
I joined this clique where we were always going to the toilet to touch ourselves, and as I promised 6, eating with chairs.
I discovered something. You can actually buy safety with money.
Hi guys, good to see you on another episode of Stories, and today is something entirely different. All right, I'm sure you've seen the snippet online. By this time last week, we did not know that we'll be back here again for the same story. After that story, or that episode of Story, we have heard more shocking details. Many of those details were not able to squeeze them into the time frame that we had. And in fact, we needed to be back for a part 2 because this time around, I think we will have to take legal actions at this point. It is quite dicey because of the way the legal system works in Nigeria when it comes to matters like this, not just Nigeria, but around the world. So, what you want to do now is sit back, because this evening is a very serious one. And I have in the studio again with me, Sarah. And that's the name we have to adopt for this story. So I'd like for you to, and by the way, the reason why this is even so important is because many more of this kind of activities going on around us. And many of these perpetrators are moving, they're roaming free on the street. Like nothing has happened. And there's a lot to learn from this. And also a lot for us to learn to adjust the way we see, treat, and even listen to people. So, good to have you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
After the last story, and I want to start from that point, sharing your story on this platform, how did that make you feel?
It was quite emotional. I mean, very emotional. I was reliving the past, but at the same time, I felt like a burden was lifted.
Oh, wow. You did feel like that?
Yes, I did feel like that. I felt light. And even before I came, I decided to share my story. There was this fear in me.
Really?
Yes, there was this
fear. Fear of what?
This uncertainty. I wasn't quite sure if I was ready. I wasn't quite sure people's feedback. Because over the years, people have dismissed. I've heard stories where people come out and they blame the victim.
Yes.
They do not even consider to think about what the victim went through and what the person is still going through. And of course, the culture of the society, people begin to ask, okay, why didn't you come out since to speak your story, or why now? You know, so it was a whole lot of mixed
There's just
feelings.
lots of blame games around subject like this, and
Yes.
what we end up doing as a people is shaming the victim.
Yes.
You mentioned many more things
Yes.
that you did not mention in the first episode.
Yes.
Get into them yourself.
Okay, I would like to start from the beginning.
Yes.
And I'm praying that the Holy Spirit helps me to, you know, speak
If you can be a
everything.
bit more audible.
Okay.
No, don't worry. Yeah.
I'm praying that the Holy Spirit helps me to, you know, say everything.
Yes.
Like I said, I read comments on the first stories.
Even though I don't allow my guests to
Yes.
read comments.
I read comments, and well, I'm going to be answering some other questions as I mean, the stories
Okay.
my own story I'm going to talk about now. Okay, I had a half brother
That's
from my father's side.
yes.
I had a half brother,
And not your mom.
not from my mom.
So meaning that your mom was not his first wife.
No, he wasn't. She wasn't the first.
What
She wasn't
number
the
was she?
first. I think, to my knowledge, the third.
The third.
Yes. He had a first wife, and from that marriage, he had 3 children.
3 children, okay.
So there was a first who is my half brother. I usually don't refer to him as my half brother because he loved me as his own,
Yes.
and he and my mom had a very good relationship.
Awesome.
He always, I mentioned the first time I shared my story, I was shuttling between my mom and my dad. And so he always brought me to my dad, my father, and then took me to my mom. you know. So they had a good rapport. Now, the first marriage, he had 3 children. My elder brother was the first, and there was another boy, but that boy is late. Okay, I think from the story I gathered, he died when he was born.
Okay.
And then I have a half sister. He had just 2 children that were still alive as at that time.
2 children were still alive. What happened to the rest?
Yes.
I want to remember how many.
Out of 3, right now we have just 1, who is my half sister. So
The first woman gave birth to 3 children.
Yes.
2 are dead.
2 are dead. 2 are dead. And so my half brother died when I just met my father. He really struggled through life. My father is not was not a poor person. Okay. But my brother, when he was in the university, he would, you know, do jobs like bricklaying, ride bikes, you know, just to make ends meet. He wasn't treated nicely.
Why?
I'm going to get into that. He wasn't treated nicely. And I used to wonder why he was, you know, hustling like that. So when he was done with his, before he was done, let me not get to that point. Let me start with his own story, the little I know of his story.
Yeah.
He met a woman while he was in school. They were in the choir, and specifically my cousin's church. He was the lead pastor. He's the lead pastor of that church. And then he met this woman. He liked her, very beautiful. But along the line, my father met her as well.
How do you mean? How do you mean? He met a woman he wanted to marry.
He liked her.
He liked her.
Of course. He was in love with her.
Then
They were
your
in
dad
love.
met her.
Then my dad met her.
Or more like the wife to be of his son.
Yes, more like he was planning.
Okay, so he met her as a father-in-law.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Let me explain better for your understanding. It's just like a man meets a lady, a young boy meets a young lady, and they liked each other.
Yes.
They are in the choir,
Yes.
you know, they were in my cousin's church,
Yes.
you know. So one of those days he visited the village, I don't want to be specific on the place now, but am I allowed to mention region? like local government?
No.
Okay. So one of those times he traveled over
Yes.
there, and then they met, because he also used to attend that church. When he gets to that particular
Your dad
region,
met the girl.
yes, he met her. And so and that was it. Change of story. And that's his wife today.
Help me. That is long. What you're saying is that he's currently married to his late son's babe.
Babe, yes. Let's put it that way. Yes. So
He took the girl after the boy died, or in his lifetime?
in his lifetime. In his lifetime. And the family were aware. They were aware about it, and they really they were not pleased with her. As a matter of fact, she got pregnant for my father, before they got married. So that brings me to when my elder brother was done with school. Just when he was about to, I think he went for service, or in the middle of that, he was poisoned. He was poisoned. As at that time, my father's wife, who was his friend then, was pregnant, like I said. And before he died, she gave birth to a boy. And I remember very well.
What you're saying is that his babe became his stepmother,
Yes.
and gave birth to his younger brother.
Yes.
Help me.
Yes. So Holy Spirit, help me.
Sorry, the way I laughed, it's
No,
pain.
I'm just
Yes.
thinking about my brother.
Okay.
And how he died, because I was with him in his last moments.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the hospital when he was in pain. I was with him. I was with him. I spoke to him. I encouraged him that he would not die but live. But I knew he was going to die. My younger brother was born before he died. And I remember very well when we were in a certain state, just by the staircase. My father had not built his house then. He was playing with my younger brother. My elder brother now was playing with my younger brother. And then while he was just, tossing him, playing with him, all three of us were playing. And then he said something that, I'm going to name you Timothy. That's what my elder brother said to my younger brother. My younger brother was 8 months then.
Who is this your younger brother?
He's the son to his wife now. He's the first
So
child.
your elder brother was telling the son of his former babe
Yes.
that he would name the child Timothy.
Yes, before me. And then he called him his son. My elder brother called my younger brother his son. And so after that time, just a few weeks later, my elder brother got sick. And it wasn't long. My father wasn't around then. He traveled, so to speak. And just a few weeks, it wasn't long. He was complaining. He was hospitalized. They treated him. He wasn't fine. I was with him. I slept in the hospital with him. He was vomiting blood in the middle of the night. I prayed, I cried, I encouraged him, and to cut the long story short, he died. He died.
As a result of poison?
As a result of poison.
Meaning that he was killed?
Yes, of course. He wasn't suicidal. He was a bubbling guy. He was very full of life. He wanted a whole lot of things. They didn't get along very well. They did not get along. His sister, who is not a half sister, that's my elder sister now, they didn't get along very well. And his father, they did not get along very well. So he was hardly around. Then he would always go to my mom's place, and my mom, was like a mother to him. He called my mom. So he died. When he died, there were no cell phones then. When he died, there were lots of suspicion. They said it was a family member, and a whole lot of things were said, but we really didn't know who it was and why. But thinking about it and putting some pieces together now, I'm human to think that, they took him out of this world based on the things he knew and he fought against.
Okay.
So, when he died, I remember my elder sister, just probably thinking out loud. She said to my ears, she didn't know I heard what she said. She said, he got what he deserved. He got what he deserved.
Our younger brother died.
Yes.
And our response is that he got what he deserved.
Yes. Exactly what she said.
What did he know?
I believe he... A lot of times I'm quite ashamed to talk about the family, yes, I came from, because of the atrocities and the abomination that is going on in the family. I'm not proud of it, but the reason why I'm saying it is because these things happen, like you've mentioned. They happen in our society. There are lots of pedophiles. There's a lot of incest going on. I came from a family where it is, let me put it this way, the order of the day. For them, it is a norm, like it's a usual thing.
A normal thing.
A normal thing for them. I believe my elder brother was aware that my father was sleeping with his daughter. That's my elder sister.
If I understand you correctly.
Yes.
Last week we spoke about his relationship with you.
Yes.
And how he abused you for 5 years.
Yes.
He would drug you and do all those things.
Yes.
You are also saying that the same man is sleeping with another of his daughter that is now your own elder sister.
Exactly. These are not guess. It's not a guessing game. I have witnessed it.
You witnessed what?
I have witnessed both of them engaging in the act.
You bombed on them?
Yes. Engaging in the act. Not once. If I ever kept count, maybe above 2 times, sorry.
That you bombed in on them?
Yes. Or catch them in an ungodly manner, probably inappropriately touching themselves.
This is his daughter now.
Yes. And he himself has also, intentionally, I think thinking about it now, he intentionally made sure I saw it. Because there was a time he was like, don't you see how close I am with your elder sister? And there's nothing wrong with it. And me playing dumb, I'm like, okay, what do you mean? Are you going to say that you didn't see us the other day?
He said that?
Yes. Are you going to say you didn't see us the other day? There's nothing wrong with it. Your elder sister loves me. I love her, and I love you the same way.
Are you guys not his children?
Of course, we're his own blood. Of course, we're his blood. We're his blood. I mean, all this while he was doing all he was doing, his wife was there. His wife was there.
Which of the wives?
The current one.
That's the former babe of your brother, late brother.
Yes. His wife was there.
Are you saying that wife knows about?
Oh yes, she does. Absolutely, she does. She knows about it. I mean, what kind of person would she be to say that she doesn't know when her stepdaughter would go into her husband's room and sleep in the room, and she cannot even sleep in the room like a husband and wife would? She has a separate room. She has a separate room. His daughter would go into the room. They lock the door. I mean, what are they doing in the room?
At what age?
She was already an adult. She was an adult. I met her. She's way older than I am. She was already an adult. So she knew what she was doing. I would say she enjoys what she's doing.
So, the relationship between your dad and your elder sister, who happens to be his daughter also,
Yes.
you're saying that it is consensual.
Yes, it is.
It's a love affair.
Yes. It's not just a love affair, it's a deep
Love
love
affair.
affair.
Is she not married?
She was married a couple of times.
What do you mean a couple of times?
She's been married more than, I can't remember, I think 3 times? Or
Different
two
men?
times, yes, different men. As a matter of fact, she was, the first man she got married to, they separated. I think on the wedding day, she called it off. She called it off. He made her call it off.
Who made her call it off?
Her father made her call it off.
Why?
The usual reason, this man is not good for you. I've seen things. What elders see, children cannot see it. So, second man she got married to, they got married. The wedding was conducted. Bride price was given. She traveled overseas. And all of a sudden, one day she got back and the marriage was over. The man decided to end the marriage for no reason. That was a man that I knew was her husband, and he was a good man. He was a good man.
Are you thinking he found out that she was sleeping with her father?
I'd like to, I don't know. I think...
I think that would be a deep secret
yes.
that they would not want outsiders to find
Of
out.
course. But the family know. The family is aware, and
What do you mean the family?
they know what is going on.
His own siblings.
Yes, his siblings, his younger sister, because he's the first.
We agreed that we are going to play evidences.
Yes.
So before we are done today, there's going to be evidences. Pretend that even though we'll still have to blur certain things, but conversations to let you know that this is not made up.
Yes.
Now, we do have loads of applications for people who want to be on stories, but we are always patient to, by the Spirit of God, get the specific stories that He wants to go out.
Yes.
Because of the season, it could be anything, So, and this is one that I know for certain God wants this to go out.
Yes.
Particularly because there are many places where this is happening now.
True. Absolutely.
So let's still stay on the issue of your elder sister.
Yes.
She's how many years older than you are?
14.
14 years older than you are.
Yes.
So it means by the time you were...
14.
Huh?
By the time I was 14 when he started, she was 28.
28?
Yes. Almost 30.
Are you saying by the time you were 14 when he started with you, he's been sleeping with her too?
Exactly.
Meaning that he has started sleeping with her before he met you?
Exactly.
Before he started with you?
Exactly. And that brings me to the question I asked my aunt from my mother's side. Why my mom left him? And there was something, I asked her 2 years ago, and there was something she said. She said, I think it was something about him sleeping with his daughter.
That's why your mom left him.
Yes, one of the many reasons.
Your sister, forgive me, these things are quite difficult to comprehend. Your sister,
Yes.
did she get pregnant for him? I'm asking now, your sister, did she get pregnant for her father?
It's something they would not say.
Yes.
There was a conversation my younger sister sent to me, a screenshot, which I'm hoping I still have that screenshot. And they were talking about the chat between my father and my elder sister. And in the conversation, they were talking about one estranged son. There was someone, she called her name, I think.
Don't mention them.
Yes. She called a name and she was like, my son, how are you doing? That is a conversation between she and the boy now. And then herself and her father. So the one I got to read that my younger sister sent to me, based on some questions, which I would get into, I asked her and she provided evidence and said, oh yes, something like that is happening. I will talk about that much later.
Something like
so
that.
As he's molesting his granddaughter.
I'm sorry, I'm shouting. Oh boy.
He's molesting his granddaughter.
This is the first episode of Story that we're going to have to drop the contact of a lawyer on the screen so that this case can be pursued. Let's wait. Not only was he sleeping with his children,
Yes.
now he's sleeping with his granddaughter.
Yes, sir.
How old is this grandchild?
She was born 2016, so she should be almost 10 years now. She'll be almost 10 years now. The reason why my younger sister sent me those evidence was because when God showed me something about him, my father now, taking advantage of my younger sister, all right, I prayed about it and I got the understanding that it's not my younger sister, but my niece. So I called her and asked her. I called my younger sister, I called my younger brother, I called their mom, and I related the revelation to them. And that was when my younger one's mom said she noticed that when she was bathing
Yes.
the little girl,
Yes.
as at that time,
Yes.
she noticed that the girl was smelling. And she being a nurse, she had to check the girl because
Yes.
a child ought not to have any sort of emission from her private parts. So when she checked the little girl, she noticed that she was having some discharge and it was smelly. So that explains.
No, hold on a minute. So, meaning that he was taking advantage of the girl.
Oh, yes.
The mother of the child that checked the child up, that's his daughter too that he's sleeping with.
No, the woman who checked the child
He's a different person.
is his wife now, his current wife.
Okay, his current wife, which is
Yes.
the person who checked the child is your late brother's babe.
Yes.
The child is the child of his own daughter
Yes.
that he's also sleeping with.
Exactly.
And he's also sleeping with the child.
He's
That
taking,
child,
yeah.
that is his own daughter's child,
His granddaughter.
his granddaughter.
Yes.
Who is the father of that child?
It is a man who they never got married.
The paternity of that child is certain, is not the one.
It's questioned.
The paternity is questioned.
It's questioned.
So meaning that it is possible that the girl is his granddaughter
Possible.
and also his daughter.
Exactly.
Come on.
So the paternity is questioned.
This one is.
So, and
We've-
thinking, even for my own younger brother, I'm thinking about, like I said, it is only but normal that that I question my younger brother's paternity, and I've been asking God to give me the chance to actually carry out a DNA without suspicion, because I wouldn't want to, I know it's going to be very hard for my younger brother. He doesn't know.
Who are you referring to, your younger brother?
That's the one I said my elder brother, who is late, took him and was playing with him and named him Timothy.
So your fear is that it is possible that before that guy died, the girl was pregnant for him.
It's possible. That's my fear.
So the reality now is, at some point, father and daughter were sleeping with the same girl.
Exactly. Even when, before he died, he had a girlfriend. I would not mention names. He had a girlfriend, and he even made advances at that girl. He made advances
at which girl?
The one he later, dated before he died.
Who made advances towards
my father? Made advances to the girl. Basically, he's somebody who would go after, let's put it this way, anything on skirts or anything in skirts.
Should that now include your children and grandchildren? How did a man get to the point where we are saying that his granddaughter would possibly be his daughter?
Except we'll never know, except we carry out a DNA test. Yes. So, I wanted it to be a progressive, so I don't, forget certain things. After my brother died, or even before my brother died, I remember one time they really had a very serious argument and they fought. Not like they physically fought, but my elder brother, really flogged my elder sister. I didn't know why, but I had not seen him prior to that time that angry,
He flogged who?
He flogged my elder sister.
That's his girlfriend, the one he's sleeping with?
No, my elder sister. You see, the story is quite complicated, and I understand. I understand that it's hard to digest. Yeah. That's why I told you that it's a deep one.
It is. It doesn't, I'm sorry to say, but does anything get deeper than this? The person he flogged is not that your elder sister that is sleeping with.
The person my elder brother, who is late now, flogged, is his own sister.
Younger sister?
His own younger sister that her father is sleeping with.
Wait, apart from that, your elder sister?
Yes.
Is sleeping with somebody else again?
No.
Oh, or that your elder sister is his own younger sister?
Yes, his own younger sister.
Okay.
Yes.
So your brother found out?
Yes, I believe he found out.
Hence the reason why she said he got what he deserved.
Exactly. Now you understand it.
Mm.
And mind you, their mom was not the first. He married another wife. A second wife. And that wife had 2 girls for him. And she left him. I believe that he also tried
to sleep with those 2 girls.
And she left him. But according to him, he will always say that, oh yes, I asked him one day, what happened? And he's like, I found her with a charm, and so I sent her out of the house. She was using a charm against me, and I sent her out. But looking at it now, that's not the case. That's not the case.
He could have lied.
Yes, of course. Of course. I mean, he lied against my mom. He lied against me. He lied. He lies. He lies. He's a pathological liar. And so, those ones, we really don't have a good relationship. Not like we're fighting, but of course, we didn't grow up together. I don't know them like that. But one thing that is for sure is they do not love their father. They resent him. And then fast forward, my mom, I would like to also talk about the times we moved from a particular state to another state.
Yeah.
Like I said before, my father's wife has her own room, and his daughter would always go into his room. They stay there, even right before her eyes. She really can't do anything about it.
Father and daughter.
Exactly. She can't do anything about it. As a matter of fact, in her own marriage, she doesn't even know things as much as her own stepdaughter does. He wants to make decisions. It's his, his first daughter. He wants to, serious decisions. Even when he was to build his house, she didn't get to know until much later, So everything revolves around this woman who is my elder sister.
Yeah.
And so we had to deal with it. If you are not in good relationship, if you don't have good cordial relationship with her, that's it. You're not having a good relationship with him as well.
Wow.
So over the years, I have seen men come and go. Good men come and go in her life, and it gets destroyed. The relationship gets destroyed. If she's married, it gets destroyed. The man just wakes up and says, okay, he doesn't want to be married anymore. Now, I mentioned that she got married last year.
Again. Third marriage.
Fourth, I think.
Fourth marriage.
She got married again last year. And as we speak, they're already separated. They're divorced. Yes, they're separated.
And she's back to her dad again.
No, she's not back to her dad. She decided to remain in that state.
Wow.
She decided to remain, and she has her daughter with her. And this man she got married to, I'm aware that he would call the man and be like, where are you? You're a married man. How can you be out of the house by this time, 8 p.m.? You're supposed to go home. And then he talks to his daughter. That's my father now, talks to his daughter. And you have to be wise. If this man is not treating you nicely, you can't remain in that marriage.
He's manipulating her out of her home.
Exactly. And so if the man maybe needs her opinion about something, she has to ask her dad. My daddy hasn't told me this. My daddy hasn't told me that. It's always daddy, 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 daddy.
Wow.
And so finally last year, they separated. She said then, I think when they did the separation, they had it on a call. Okay. And they called him. This is our conversation now, myself and my elder sister. Because I had to call her.
To know what's going on.
And then she opened up to me and said, and I was like, okay, how did it go? How did you guys separate? And she's like, well, daddy called, because, he can't possibly be traveling all the way from where he is to where I am. So, we had to do it over a call. And then, her father asked her, my daughter, are you sure you want to be in this marriage? Are you happy in this marriage? And she says, no. And then he told the family of the man that, well, whatever my daughter wants is what I would agree with. And that was how they returned the bride price and she's no longer married. She's no longer married to that man. She separated from that man. And it will interest you to know that he still travels from where he is to where she is. He travels all the way.
Am I hearing like this?
He travels all the way to go see her. He will just make
To go spend time with his daughter.
Exactly, and his granddaughter.
That could possibly be his daughter too.
Exactly.
So wait, this man is sleeping with his daughter,
Yes.
and there's a possibility that they have a grandchild together.
Not
They have a
just,
daughter together,
yes,
which is a grandchild to him,
exactly.
and he's also now sleeping with that grandchild too. This is
Taking
the worst
advantage
evil.
of- Yes. Yes. When I confronted her about it, because I'm concerned for my
Is the
niece.
mother aware that he's sleeping with her daughter?
Of course. I remember one of those days that he was having an affair, when she was still with him in his house. He's had several affairs. He's had several affairs. One of the times he was having an affair. In fact, they would even come to the house. Right before his wife's eyes. They would come to the house.
So the
One of
wife
the
is
guys-
nothing there, just like
Nothing, just more like, nothing. While she's even at home, my elder sister, would engineer the meeting. She would actually look for a girl for him. And why I said that, yes, it's possible that my niece.
his daughter will look for a girl for her father.
Yes. She said something to me one time when we kicked against all those nonsense. Excuse my French. She said something. She was like, even if she sees her father on a 5-year-old, there's nothing wrong with it. And it's nobody's business. So that brings me to answering your question, if he's still sleeping with his granddaughter. So if she's aware of it, of course. Of course.
This is a very, very...
Of course. And those times, she had friends, and even friends that had younger sisters. She wouldn't mind, connecting them together. She wouldn't mind it. She made that woman's marriage a living hell. She made the woman's marriage a living hell. And I'm still amazed why she's still in the marriage. A lot of women would say they are in the marriage for their children. But
the child is even
they
being
are
slept
grown now.
with in your presence.
Exactly.
There is a very big chance that you don't even have an idea of the depth of what we are dealing with. At least you only know few. His escapade might be deeper than that.
It's deeper than that. It's beyond that. I also didn't mention that there was a chat, like I said, my younger sister sent to me. And it's possible they even have a child, a son, somewhere hidden.
That's
My elder sister has a son. It's possible she has a son for her father.
For her father.
Exactly. Based on the chat I read, it's possible.
Okay, I don't want to get
that we
into
don't
this.
know about. Because in that chat, the boy called her mom and she called him son. So at what point, they're so secretive that
Definitely, there's loads of evil going on there. So
yes, loads of evil going on.
I want to ask you a very important question.
Yes, sir.
Do you want this man to be prosecuted?
Yes, I want him to be persecuted. As much as we talk about forgiveness, there are some sins that cannot be swept, under
They are not
the
just
rug.
sins, they are crimes.
Crimes, yes. that cannot be swept under
Yes.
the rug. And I also fear for other people, you know, especially my niece.
So that they will not be victims of that.
Yes,
Practically no child around him is safe.
at all. At all. No child is safe.
You know, sometimes when things like this go on here, people raise alarms and then say that show the person's face, don't cover the person. You know, I mean, you can just get into big time trouble, particularly because you must understand that the social media space is not the court of law.
Yes.
You know, nobody's protecting anybody here,
Yes.
but there is the rule of the land and there is the rule and laws even against such.
Yes.
You can't just call somebody out and put a face out there. You
Yes.
can't be in jail for life for that.
Yes.
You know, which is not the essence of this platform. It's for you to share your story.
Yes.
I just want to say that for the record.
Yes.
But in this case where there are cases where there are hard evidences now, and behind the scenes, a lot of things can be done to be able to press that. I'm sorry, I don't want to make you feel embarrassed. I want to say something. Because last week we put an account details for people to be able to support. And that's because while you were talking, I just thought to myself that if anything you are doing now should fail, God forbid, you are trying to build an organization, you're trying to do this, you practically don't have anyone and anywhere to fall back to.
Oh no, I
You
don't.
see,
Yes.
and I respect this community. I want to thank God for the Stories community because I've seen God use this community to lift people, you know, which is one of my major burden for running this platform. That whenever I have the opportunity to interview people, that we can come together as a people to lift and strengthen the hands.
Yes.
We do that and I'm saying that because, again, I'm having the media to put the account details on the screen. I'm really trusting God that we get something sustainable that could help you set up your own organization.
Thank you, sir.
And something really, something really sustainable for you. Because I know that there's a case on ground which you touched briefly last week. And that's the fact that when your mom died, you were not given access to the gratuity.
Yes, talking about that.
Till now.
Up till now. Yes.
Do you feel it's taking it?
At some point, I wanted to just let it go.
Who is the
No.
next of kin?
I am the only next of kin.
So you have the right to it.
Yes, because my twin is late.
You have a twin
Yes.
that is dead.
Yes, my twin is late. She's dead. And I am the only next of kin. When my mom was sick, I later found out that my mom wanted me to come to where she was. But he refused. My mom begged him, but he refused.
Your mom wanted you to come to her city.
Yes,
He refused.
he refused.
Why?
Looking at it now,
Obviously.
yes, we know why.
We know why.
He wanted to, he knew, as someone who is, I don't know if he's retired or he was dismissed, but he was in the,
Don't get into it.
you know, as somebody who was in that line, he knew what it entails. He knew that if someone dies while serving, they have, you know, a specific amount
Yes.
of money, benefits, death benefits, and
But
gratuity.
it's not like it is something you can take behind your back.
Like I said before, that man is a respectable person. And
Too many
of course,
things
they
could
know
actually happen.
him, you know, they know him in certain places. So he could make things happen. Judging by the antecedents of things,
Yeah.
we live in a corrupt society.
Yes, please. I mean, we have a very serious case here. It's a very, very serious matter here. And this is one time on Stories I'm saying that we need all the support we can get. We are putting the number of a lawyer on the screen. I told the lawyer that it's going to be a lot of trouble because people are going to be reaching out from all over. But she says she's ready because, everyone will be angry about this case.
Yes.
Again, we know better not to bring this to the court of media. It doesn't make any sense.
Yes.
I want to give an interlude for the media team to play some evidences that are on ground. Just few minutes, just for people to know that, okay, this is not something, it's not a fluke, it's not lies. Something that was going on that even the family member knew about.
Yes.
All right, so I want them to put that up. They'll be back in 5 minutes time. God bless you.
Whether it's a ritual to meet certain of his involvement, I don't know. Because there are 1,001 women in the street. There are that charges different prices. There are even some that may even offer you free. So why the interest is on your stuff is what we don't know.
No, I was thinking out loud. I said only that. I remember. I don't know how true that story is about God and
that they were.
No, that God met her now first.
Yes, that is true. You see, these children were under me, even though I was no more at home. But I was a member of the choir, a member of the church. So, and somehow, when they come to church, they always meet. And these are young, and it was not out of place for a young man to look onto somebody he could.
Of course.
You understand? So, but the father now, just overturned and prevailed.
He indeed prevailed.
There are a lot of things could have been responsible for every exit. You understand? Because we were actually taking, unawares, and everybody mourned and were shocked at what happened because we didn't hear that he was sick.
Wow.
All of a sudden, what I hearing was
I was with him in the
vomiting blood and the rest of that. So, which was traceable to poisoning.
Yes.
So, and yes, this they are trying to say now could be the reason behind eliminating him.
She knows. What will she do? She knows. She's aware. Can she start fighting herself? The internal days will say that you cannot stretch your body to start bringing blood. That is what the state we are now. Shall we go outside and be telling people this is what we are experiencing? Is it not a shame? It's a pain. We cannot do otherwise. So the best thing, the way you feel it, that is how she feel it. She feel it. Even till tomorrow, there are thoughts we'll be discussing. If she will reflect on that, he will start crying. He said, my old brother did this to me. I will say, my sister, what will you do now? Your cry will not do anything.
I'm just wondering, right? You and I are just talking. What has been bothering my mind is why is it that the entire family is afraid of one man?
We are not afraid of him. When this thing happened, the elderly one were aware they did something about it. We, the younger ones, we were not. At the time you now told me, I now called my sister. I said, look at we discussed. He said, yes. He explained to me. I now say, what up? We say, we are younger ones. We don't have the say on it. But the elderly people, They say they did something. They say something.
What
So
did
they cannot call us to the hearing. That is why we did not hear. He said, even he said, my father said, he has no pain because he's a younger one. So those ones that senior in that time, some of them are not there. They have died. Somebody like that. You know it. So the one now, the one that is in position of that man now. So no, we are younger to him. We have no pain. That is why we leave it for God and the God of our ancestors to judge.
Oh, I thought you mentioned that she had some emissions from her at that time.
That is for this infection now.
Infection. A little girl, small girl having discharge from her private parts.
Some things were going on now. Oh, if the thing was on top of the point, it was when I want to wash it like the text. There are some things that the feeding that we are not aware. If these things are free to be unveiled. I know, one day, it's going to be one day.
I believe you heard those things yourself and you can be a judge of that yourself. There are still more things you've not said.
Yes. I haven't talked about the after my mom's death, the gratuity and all. Now, when she died, I remember we went to, I don't want to mention names, we went to certain places, but at some point, that was when I was 14, 15. We went to certain places, but at some point, it just stopped. So I kept asking him, okay, those things we went for, to get those benefits and all. What's up with it? He said, I shouldn't worry. I have documents that says that, okay, yes, she was my mom while in service. But there's a particular document which is called Noticas, notification of death. I don't have that document.
And that's with him?
And it's with him. All documents are with him. I had to do a fresh document or fresh documents. Now he's had that document since 2003. And there was a time I went to the headquarters. I've gone to places where the military would not even allow some persons to enter. And the first place we went to, which was her place of service, they couldn't even find her file. So you see, he must have used...
Meaning that he's gotten there ahead of him.
They couldn't find her file. And even when they found something, it was empty. It was totally empty, as though she never served in the military.
Oh, really?
Yes, in the Nigerian army. And so I went to places. They even told me, I remember the lieutenant and the major, they told me that those documents are with your father. I called him while I was at their headquarters. And he was like, I told him, I said, I'm with the personnel now. And they told me that the documents are with you. Please, can I have the documents? And he's like, oh, okay. I used to see it somewhere.
Wow.
In the house, in my room. But give me 2 weeks to check.
2 weeks?
Yes, to check for the documents. I gave him more than 2 weeks. I gave him almost 3 weeks. He didn't call me. So I called him and asked, what about the documents? He said he can't find it anymore. He's not with it anymore. So the essence of that was actually to cripple me and not to find any means, but to depend on him.
Yeah.
So that was it.
True.
But then he's surprised that, God sustained me. So when he knew that he couldn't have his way and all of that, he began to spread rumors about me, that I was into prostitution.
He did that?
Yes, to family members. There was a point they said I was pregnant out of wedlock, to the point his younger sister, their last born, called me and was like, I'm told you have a baby now. Where is the baby? I'm like, everybody's calling me. They just want to see me fail.
Yeah.
They want to see me fail. They want
and that's the more reason why I'm trying to get our community to everyone will do this massively and rally support. I just want us to do this massively and rally as much support as we can get for her. And that's apart from pursuing the case, which we only want people who know about cases like this and backdoor, whatever it is, to speak up. This man, is a fetish?
Oh, yes, he is. Like I said before, my cousin, my step cousins, their father was a diabolical chief priest.
Yeah.
And he was their go-to man when they needed to do any spiritual cleansing. So when he did all of that to myself and my cousin, one of my cousins as well, he took advantage of my cousin.
It's the more reason why people like this should be.
Yes, his younger sister's child.
He slept with his younger sister's child too.
Exactly.
The mother didn't know?
Of course, they're aware. That's why I
said.
What
did they do?
They did the spiritual cleansing. They did their diabolical spiritual cleansing. So the entire family is aware. They're all aware.
Entire family.
Yes. So that brings me to to answering your question, if he's fetish. Yes, he is. Like I said, when my elder brother was alive, I knew my elder brother. He was my brother. He was somebody after my mom that really loved me for me and took care of me. If he was alive, I wouldn't have gone through all of this.
He would have stood his ground.
He would have stood for me. I knew my brother from his hair to his toes.
For some reasons, everyone that could have stood for you died mysteriously.
Yes, they died. And so there was a time I was just led to go into his room. And there's this red box that we don't have these days now. They sold then in the 90s. And that red box, nobody goes to it. If you go to his house now, you would see the red box.
It's still there.
It's still there. It's kind of white. It's white, a regular traveling box. And there was a day I went into his room. I took a key. He didn't know I had a key. I took a key. I went into his room, took the box, and opened the box. While I was going through the box, I saw, these little bags that the pharmacies, they use to put drugs. I saw I saw some hair, rather. I saw hair. I saw fingernails. And I knew very well my brother's fingernails.
Yeah. So you recognize that your brother's fingernail was in that box?
Yes.
Meaning that the hair could possibly be his own too?
It's his. It's not possibly, it's his hair. It's his hair. My younger brother has the same kind of nails as my elder brother. So I knew his nails. He had these white tip nails, very hard. If you check that box, it's still there. I went into his wardrobe.
You saw that after your brother died?
Yes.
So you're saying you saw the nails and the hair of his late son?
Yes. It's still there.
This one is...
It's still there. Nobody has been able to go into that box. I alone was able to open it. And when I checked his wardrobe, I saw some sand, some other things, just funny things. And then I closed it. I kept it back the way I met it. He didn't know till date. But if you go there, you would miss it.
Still there.
Yes, it's still there.
There.
That's just one of the many things they do. Sometimes they will call spiritualists. They will kill some animals. I've seen my elder sister bathe in animal blood, sprinkle salt around the house, even to the point where one of the spiritualists slept with her.
One of whose spiritualists?
One of those fetish men they brought they went into the room. I saw them go into the room, lock the room, and they were there.
Zara.
So yes, he's fetish.
what we are going to do is that we'll nip this in the bud here. We have given out the lawyer's contact for somebody who knows about cases like this and how we can reinforce around it. Particularly not just about justice, which is an important part, but also to make sure that nobody becomes a victim again.
Yes.
No child is safe around him.
Not at all.
Nobody is safe around him.
Yes.
So that's a major stuff. Are you emotionally prepared for that?
What could be worse than what happened to me? What could be worse than that? God has built me in a way that I may seem very quiet and calm, and but I'm tough as well by the grace of God. So yes, there's nothing worse. I've seen worse.
You've seen stuff.
Yes, I've seen worse.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on this episode of Stories Again.
Thank you, sir.
I mean, this is two we've had in a row. We didn't know like last week that we're going to be bringing you back again till all these things come in. If last week was 10%, this one is 1,000%. The things I've heard today, the things we have all heard today. And particularly, it is even important to hear things like this so that you are not too innocent. You can know that in life, certain things are possible.
Yes.
I want to just give a follow-up on those two things I said, the lawyer's contact on the screen, and I want us to support this lady and give her the push she needs in life so that she doesn't even need to ever fall back on these people. And once again, thank you for coming on this episode of Stories. This is one story we can never forget for life. Something about this story keeps ringing in our mind again and again and again. It's been ringing even in my sleep. So we follow up and somehow we find a way to give you an update. Yeah. Find a way to give you an update. Yes, please, before we go. Yes, Zara.
Yes, I really want to appreciate you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I know words cannot be, words are never
nothing.
enough to express how I feel.
No, it's nothing.
But thank you very much.
Thank God.
You're a man that has a heart of gold.
Thank you.
And you are not thinking about yourself, but for other people. And I really appreciate it. And God bless you.
Amen.
This is something that even in my generation, if Christ tarries, they will never forget.
Amen. Thank you.
And I want to also thank God for your life.
Thank you.
And I want to thank God for accepting the call of God upon your life. There are lots of people going through a lot of things bottled up inside, and it's eating them, aching them.
A lot.
And God has, created you for a time like this. And thank you for following the voice of
Praise God.
Thank you for what you're doing.
Praise God.
And I also want to thank those who...
The people
who have helped
Praise
and
God.
are still helping. I want to thank you all. May God bless you.
Amen.
And I want you all to know that in my prayers for the rest of my life and even my generations, we keep praying for all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So grateful. Thank you for what you just said. I'm touched by that. And we have incredible people that follow this platform. And we want to thank you guys again. Thank you for the difference that you make. We are doing this together. And that's the truth. We're doing this together. So may God bless you.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Thank you so much.
Yeah. There's a story coming and a documentary, but I don't want to give an hint yet. Don't let me give an hint. That's a serious one, but no hint yet. See you on another episode of Stories Again. God bless you. Have a great time. Bye-bye. Today, right in front of us, we have yet another story, one that we will not forget in Ilorin.
And I told him I was pregnant. He said, over his dead body, that I will suffer if I don't abort this pregnancy. So,
He started making advances on me, and then he told me, no matter how I shout, nobody is going to hear me.
The prostitutes you were carrying, were they not older than you? Some of them were younger.
I joined this clique where we were always going to the toilet to touch ourselves, and as I promised 6, we were eating with chairs.
I discovered something. You can actually buy safety with money.